Hey, what's up guys? Coach Myers coming to you from the War Room here at the Old School Gym. Welcome to my new series, The Beginner's Guide to Boxing. You know, I get a lot of questions about boxing technique, how to hit the heavy bag, how to get a good boxing workout. So I want to create a series to be able to take you, if you've never had any boxing experience at all, and teach you how you can utilize boxing to get an effective workout, be able to incorporate it in on a weekly basis, and also learn a little bit of skill so that way in case you ever have to defend yourself. Now, something to kind of keep in mind, you know, this series is not designed for me to turn you into the next Floyd Mayweather. That's just not going to happen. That's not what I'm trying to do here. You know, I grew up hitting the heavy bag a little bit. My dad had some boxing experience, so he taught me, you know, from a young age how to hit the bag. I always loved the way it made me feel. I incorporated it into my workouts. As I got into my 20s, I started training some fighters here and there. So I would, you know, spar with them and do boxing workouts with them. And then once I got into my late 20s, I actually hired an actual boxing coach and had him train me, and then I competed for a couple years. So that was a great experience. I won the Tri-State Golden Gloves. I won my weight at the Arnold Classic. I got in there, beat some guys up, got beat up myself a few times, and learned a lot about it. So with that being said, you know, I think I can teach you the necessary skills to get a great boxing workout. My way that I'm going to show you is not the only way. It's like any sport. There's dozens of different ways to stand, to hit the bag, to move. But I'm going to show you what I feel are kind of the essential basics that are translate well, you know, skill-wise and workout-wise. And now, the most important thing with any sport is learning a foundation, and your foundation for boxing starts with your stance. So on today's episode, we're going to go over your basic stance, weight distribution, because how your weight is distributed is going to dictate where the power comes from on your punches. And also, I'm going to begin to show you just probably the beginner basic punches. All right? So I'm going to assume that you guys are right-handed like I am, and if you are, you're going to take your left foot, you're going to point it straight at the mirror. I have my right foot kind of off here to the side, and I want to be able to look in the mirror and be able to see both of my feet. If my heel is too far this way, so I don't see my heel on my right foot, that means I'm going to be too far sideways. So you want to be kind of cocked to the side, but not that far. There is certain styles of kickboxing and certain styles of, you know, amateur boxing where they will teach you to stand very sideways. I don't think it translates as well from a workout standpoint, and also doesn't translate as well to MMA, which I know some of our viewers might be kind of interested in picking up, you know, if you're a wrestler or whatever, picking up a little bit of boxing to complement your wrestling skills. So the way I like to teach it is to keep that foot out just a little bit, and now I can see both my feet. I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to bring it straight up in the air, I'm going to make a fist, and I'll pull it straight down. So now my right hand's on my chin, and my elbow is just kind of resting right there on my ribs. I don't want it out here like this. You know, I don't need to hold it real high or anything like that. You want your arm to just be nice and relaxed. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my left hand, but I'm going to do it kind of out in front. Okay, so again, some boxing coaches teach you to put your hands on your chin. They might teach you to hold your hands real high. I like to teach it nice and simple right here. One hand on the ribs. That left hand's going to be out there like that. But as you can see, when I turn to the side, it's sticking out there a little bit further. Okay, that way, you know, nice and close for me to reach my opponents, a little bit closer to them. And also, when that is coming towards you, that looks a little bit more intimidating, seeing that hand floating out there instead of seeing this. That kind of makes my face a little bit more available to you. So, right here, that's my stance. My hips are turned just a little bit, okay? Now, I always want to be able to defend both sides of my body or both sides of my head. So from here, I can use my elbow. It's nice and tight to my body. I can grab my ear, okay? I can turn away from a punch like that. Same thing, even though my left hand's floating out here, I can tuck it in to protect my ribs, and I can grab my ear on that side, and I can also, to defend a right hand, grab my ear and turn away, okay? So, now that I got that stance, we need to go over basic punches. The most important punch for any boxer is the jab. Now, for a right-handed boxer, your left jab is going to kind of come out from the shoulder, nice and straight like that. Notice how when it comes out, my left shoulder is right here protecting my chin. So I don't want to jab down here like this, because now they could come right over top of it and hit me in the chin. So as I flick that jab out, my shoulder goes out. Now I'm not going to get heavy on my front foot, okay? I'm going to keep my weight back here in my back pocket, because I want to be able to, after I throw that jab, throw a nice hard right, okay? And that is going to distribute the weight onto my front foot, which is going to bring the power with that right hand. So my weight's nice and neutral, kind of in here in my back pocket. The jab's going to come straight out. Now if you notice, My hips aren't really turning at all. They're staying in the same position. For the sake of learning the punch, we're not stepping with it, but eventually you'll learn to be able to step with that jab. But for right now, I want you just to kind of stand stationary, bring that jab out. And it's very important that when you throw your jab, it comes back the same way it goes out. What I mean by that is, I'm not going to throw my jab high and then bring it back low as it comes back. It's a very common mistake that beginners do. They throw a jab and it comes back like that. I want to see it boom, 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 straight out like a piston. I think something that'll help you kind of remember that is pretend that you have a rubber band attached to the front of your shoulder to your fist. So that when I throw that jab out, that rubber band brings it right back the same way. So if I had a rubber band attached, there's no way it could come down like that. It would have to flick out there and come straight back. So when you have a jab out there, the idea is to be able to set up your nice straight right hand. Now the right hand, as opposed to the jab, is a power punch and is going to involve transferring your weight from where it sets when I jab, which is my back foot. And I'm going to transfer all my weight onto my front foot. You see, I'm real heavy on that front foot. My shoulders have turned. My hips have turned. Now they're facing my opponent. Okay? And I like to also teach to pick that back foot up. So if I don't pick that foot up, it doesn't allow my hips to turn as well. But if I pick that foot up, see what happens right there with my hips and my shoulders? They're going to turn from here, boom, right there. Now, same thing with the jab. You look, my shoulder's up there protecting my chin, and my left hand is up. What you don't want to do is go like this. That's another common mistake that people make at first. They drop that left hand when they throw the right hand. So not only is this good defense-wise, but it's going to help me really get full extension on my shoulder as I pull that jab back. You want to think of each punch, the second half of the punch is really the first half of the next punch. So what I mean by that is, my jabs go out and come back in. When it goes out, as it's coming back in, watch my shoulders. Boom. They're trading now. There I am, heavy on that front foot. My hips are turned. I'm pushing off that back foot right there. All my weight is heavy on the front foot, hopefully connecting with the heavy bag or with somebody's jaw, right? Now, when this punch comes back, same thing. Everything turns back. Now my weight's back here, okay? It's very important that you don't leave your weight hanging out there on that front foot, because now look how out of position I am. But if I go here, here, let it turn back, now I'm right back to square one. I can throw that jab again or work, you know, into a different position. So at first, it's probably going to be unrealistic to think that you're going to master any punches except for those first two, the jab and the straight right. But I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of the basic mechanics of a left hook and also a right uppercut as well. I think kind of the easiest way to learn a left hook is to start at the end of that right hand, where now I can feel all my weight distributed over here onto my left. And as that punch pulls back, I'm going to transfer my weight onto my back foot while turning my shoulders and torquing into that hook. So there, all my weight's back here again. So to show you what it looks like without that punch, without the punch preceding it, here, weight's loaded up on that front foot, boom, turn in. You come to the body, or come to the head with it. Now if you notice, when I throw that punch, I stop right here. You look in the mirror, my fist is basically in line with my head. If I'm throwing to someone's body, boom, there it is, in line with my body. If I'm throwing to someone's head, boom, up there. You don't want to get in the habit of overcommitting and throwing too far on your hook. What that would look like is here. That's another mistake beginners make a lot. So if you look, if I'm boxing my reflection in the mirror, look how bad I just missed with that punch. But if I'm here, boom, 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 that left hook's landing every time. So kind of draw a line, an imaginary line down yourself. That's where you want that hook to stop. See how my hips and shoulders are what throws it. Weight's heavy on that front foot, weight transfers to the back foot. Boom, boom, right like that. Now, the right uppercut, your weight's going to distribute pretty much the same way as it does on that straight right hand, except instead of the punch being delivered with a straight arm, it's going to come up right up the center like that. So I kind of drop that shoulder as my hips and shoulders rotate, boom, right up the middle, boom. And again, you don't want to swing like this. You don't want to drop that arm way down. It's just here. Now, if you're just learning to throw this uppercut for the heavy bag, you're going to want to kind of throw it a little bit more of a shovel, right there. Boom. And that's a good way to throw it to the stomach as well. Now if you have an uppercut bag or if you're hitting the mitts, you want to come straight up like that. So to put those 4 punches together, you get your jab, your straight right, your left hook, and that right uppercut. Now one of the keys to think about on any punch is typically whatever punch you're throwing, whatever hand you're throwing with, your right hand, your left hand, you're always going to be shifting your weight to the opposite foot. So again, when I throw a straight right hand, boom, where's my weight? It's over here on my left. When I throw a left hook, boom. Look how I pivoted on that front foot, I shifted that weight back onto my back foot. That way all my weight's going into the target. When I throw that right uppercut, boom, same thing. I'm pushing, and then that punch come right in the middle. It's all about that twist and that torque in your shoulders and the twist to your hips. So again here, left hand, weight's neutral. Right hand, weight's on the left foot. Left hook, my weight's back there on my right foot. Right uppercut, weight's back out front again. Boom, 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 boom. All right guys, I kind of just give you guys some basics as far as your stance, your basic punches. Our next episode, we're going to go into how to wrap your hands, how to hold your hands, and when you're supposed to clench your fists whenever you hit the heavy bag. And then after that episode, we're going to kind of go into actual bag work. Thanks for tuning in.